I got him because some people broke into my house, and at the time I didn't have a lot, and now I had even less, you know. And I needed security, and a dog was cheaper than a security system, so I had a dog. And he was a great dog. I mean, my dog wanted to please me every day. He was big, strong. He looked mean, but he wasn't mean. I wish he was mean. He was the kindest dog of all the dogs. But I'd say, come, and Jackson would come, and I'd say, sit, stand, he'd stand. I'd say, heel, he would heel. I would go for a walk, and he would walk around. I'd jog, and he'd jog right next to me. I'd stop, he'd stop. Every time I came home, he was wagging his tail and wagging his ears. And he loved me, man. He'd be bouncing up and down, hoping that we could play together. Great dog. When I got him, I never got broken into again. I gave him a big old meal the day that my neighbor got broken into. I said, hey, they looked at our house, they saw you, they looked at their house, and they went for it. I don't need the best dog, I just need better than my neighbor's dog. As the neighborhood turned, there was a lot of negative things going on my block, and people would come and they'd drink outside my fence line, and they'd smoke weed out right outside my fence, and they'd gather and they'd be talking loud, and they'd be talking things they shouldn't be talking. And I can't have that around my kids. I can't have that around my wife. So I would take my dog Jackson, and I'd walk just around my house, and I'd go to these gentlemen there and say, excuse me, fellas, this is my house here, and I can't have you guys drinking and smoking here. If you guys want, you can go right up the block. Probably nobody will bother you. But I just can't have it right here where I live. And I never had any trouble, but now that I look back, I probably had no trouble because I had a big old dog looking at me. I'd look over, and then the big old dog looks over. I'd look at this guy, the big old dog looks at this guy. And they'd see my dog, and they'd say, you know what, maybe we'll just go up the block and leave this guy alone. That dog gave me glory because that dog was well trained. I'd like to say I only trained the dog giving him lots of hot dogs. And I did give him lots of hot dogs. But I also had to give him one of those choker collars for a while. And so I would walk, and he'd get out of line, and I'd pull him back, and he didn't like it. We'd be jogging together, he'd want to run too fast. I said, get back here, pal, and I'd tug on him. And then he'd get in line. Now he loved it when he was trained, and I loved it when he was trained. But there was a window where that training time wasn't such a good time. Kids, you don't remember this, but when you were potty training, that potty training wasn't such a good time for us parents. No. But we had to go through it with you, didn't we? And maybe it was embarrassing, maybe it was hard, but I tell you, at the end of it, it's for our betterment. Sometimes we have to lose so that we can understand who's really going to win. Secondly, in our losing, we understand obedience. In Genesis chapter 22, we see Abraham is challenged. He's called to deliver Isaac as a sacrifice. Isaac is the son of promise. Isaac is his heart.